In today's video, I'll guide you through everything you need to know about Gamma, from setting up your account, generating your first AI-powered presentation, to exploring all the key tools and pricing plans. Whether you're curious or seriously considering it, this will give you the full picture so you can decide if it fits your workflow. Alright, so now let's get started by setting up our account. So use the link in the description, which is our referral link if you'd want to use it. In this way, you'd be able to get 200 AI credits for free when you use our link there. It's an affiliate link and it's completely up to you if you'd want to use it to support our channel. But yeah, if you'd use it, it's greatly appreciated. Now, once you're here, you can now set up your account in continuing with Google, or you can provide your email. But in this one, I'll just go with Google for a simpler process. And now that we are logged in, we will now be asked on how do we plan to use Gamma. So these are just personal questions, so you can just answer based on your preferences right there. So I'm just going to go and answer this right here. And there it is. Now we can proceed. And now in here, we have paste in text. So this is for when you already have something written out, like maybe notes from a doc, a rough blog post, or maybe a meeting outline. And you want Gamma to turn that into a visual for you. So you can click here and just provide your raw content. It could be in bullet points, paragraphs, or whatever. Gamma reads through it and turns it into slides, pages, or cards, which is good for you when you already know what you want to say but don't want to deal with the layout or visuals. Next, we have generate, which is the most popular option here in Gamma, because who doesn't like the easy process? All you have to do is just provide your concept here in your prompt, and then Gamma will handle it from there. This is the AI magic option. You just describe what you want and Gamma will handle it from there. And you have some options in here. You can go for a presentation, web page, document, or social, depending on what you want to create from your prompt. And now next, or the last one, is import file or URL. So if you already have content somewhere, like a doc, web page, or a PDF, Gamma can pull it in and turn it into a presentation. So you can upload a file, import from Drive, or import from URL, depending on what you'd want. So Gamma reads the content and automatically builds a deck or doc around it, breaking it into pages, pulling out key points, and adding visuals. It's surprisingly good at figuring out structure, especially if the original content is well organized. Alright, so now for this video, we'll just be going for the generate option right here, as this is the most popular. So we'll be generating our presentation based on this option right here with our prompt. So in here, you can create a presentation, web page, document, or social. So as for this video, we'll just be going for the presentation, but you can also go for the others if you want to. Next is that you'll be able to set the number of cards that you would like to be included in your product, like your presentation, web page, or whatsoever. So in this case, it's presentations. I'm just going to go for 7 cards actually. Right there. And then as for the default page style, you can go for traditional or tall, depending on what you'd want. So I'm just going to go for the default presentation format. And then next is that we have the language in here. And these are just preset prompts that you could try here in Gamma. So if you don't want to think of something just to try out the features in Gamma, you can just go here. But yeah, let's now make our prompt. So my prompt here would be to create a pitch deck for a new plant-based meal prep service called Green Fork right here. And I would want to highlight its unique selling points, pricing plans, sample meals, and I think sustainability benefits, and how to subscribe right there. So yeah, that's it. So now I'm gonna explain it to you on why I structured it this way. So basically is that starting here at create a pitch deck. So this tells Gamma the exact format that you are expecting, a structured presentation, not a blog post or a list. And next is that you have here for a new plant-based meal prep service called Green Fork. So we're giving it a brand name plus concept, which helps Gamma give the deck a professional branded feel with a logo suggestion, title card, and more. And next is that I said highlight its unique selling points, pricing plans, and so on. So this list provides a clear slide by slide content ideas. It guides Gamma to cover the key angles, which is the value prop, pricing, product showcase, brand values, and CTA or call to action like any real startup pitch. So yeah, this is how I structured it, and this is how I like to do it. I think this would be a great start when you are generating your presentation. So this will provide a great starting point if you follow this structure. But of course, you can just feel free to just start with whatever comes up in your head. You can just do that, and you can just edit it along the way. But I think you'd have an easier time if you follow this. Now that we're done, click here on generate outline, and now we will now be able to see the outlines that will be made by Gamma for us. So in here, as you can see, it is now building the outlines, and then the number of cards right here is equivalent to the number of slides that we have indicated. Now, in here is let's go into the outline first. So basically, this is the first slide, and then the informations right here that will be provided by Gamma in the presentation. And we have the problem we solve, why green fork, and our pricing plans, and so on right here. And you could also rearrange this if you want to. Like for example, you would want to put pricing plans at the last right here. So you could just drag it right here, just like so. And now you'd now be able to drag it wherever you'd want to put it. So I like to put it right here just before they know how to subscribe. And next is that you also have sustainability benefits and many more right there. So now once you're satisfied with the outline, you don't want to edit anything. You can also edit the text here, by the way. So if you think that it needs a little bit more of improvement, then you can just edit it right here. Next is that we have the add card option. So if you'd want to add a card, you can feel free to do so. And then you can just type it out right here. And then you can also go for card breaks if you'd want to. But in my case, I don't want that. And next is that we have themes. So in here is that you can choose a theme of your choosing that will be generated when you click here on generate for this presentation. And don't feel too locked in when you choose a theme right here. You can just change that later on. So I think we'll just be starting with a green theme right here. So click here on view more. And I think this would be a great starting point right there. As you can see, this is how the theme is. And then you can just select many more themes right here. So there is a vast library of themes. Once you've selected your theme, click here on select theme right there. And now let's go into the content. So in here, you can adjust text and image styles for your Gamma, and then the amount of text per card. This is very important. So since we are creating a presentation, I think it's best if we keep it brief because it's just a standard that I believe in, that a presentation is best presented with brief text on your slides. Next is that here in the image source. So by default, we'll be choosing AI images, but you can also go for stock photos, web images, AI images, illustrations, animated GIFs, or even image placeholders if you would want that you will be the one to put the actual images in the presentation. And then Gamma will just put out placeholders there so that you could just drag your image there and it will now be positioned perfectly. But as for this example, we'll just be sticking with AI images. And since we have selected AI images, we now have the option to select our AI image model. So we have a lot of basic models and advanced models, premium models, and so on. But as for this one, since we are only in a free plan, so we can't choose advanced models right here. But what I recommend here in advanced models, if you have the pro version, you can just go for ideogram right here, especially if you are creating realistic images, because this is outstanding based on my experience. But as for this one, we'll just be going with Flux Fast right here. And then after that is we can now click here on generate once you are all done or all satisfied with your settings. Click here on generate. And there it is. It is now generating. So let's wait for it as it builds out our presentation. And now from here, it is loading. And now we will now be able to see Gamma actually building our presentation right here. As you can see, that is just magical. So here it is. And there it is. So now you have made your first gamma, as you can see, because this is the first time that I have made one on this account. So from here, you can click here and show me so that there would be a guide on what you could do. But as for this one, I'll just go and click here. And then as you can see, it says Gamma uses cards to contain your content and so on. I really like the UI of Gamma. It is so modern and it's so pleasing to the eyes. Just a preference of mine, so I really like how easy it is and how premium it feels. And now, before we dive into customizing and finalizing our presentation, let me just give you an overview so that you would have a general idea on every feature, function, or tool here that you can see on the Gamma Builder. So in here, first we have the home button in here. So this would now direct you to the dashboard and exit you out of here from the Gamma Builder. And from here, you can name your presentation however you'd want. So in my case, I'll just go for Green Fork Proposal right there. And now we have theme. Just like I said earlier, you're not locked in your theme. So you can just change it here anytime, however you'd like. For example, I changed it to this one. It would now automatically change the theme. So I suggest that you get this right early on, so that you'd now be able to edit your presentation accordingly to your theme. But yeah, it depends on how you'd want to work. If you'd want to change your theme later on, then you can just do that. It's just a suggestion. Next is we have the share button. So in here, you can share your work into other people. So in here, you can collaborate with them, and then you can click here on View Analytics, wherein you can see the page views and then the card engagement. So this is really good because you'd now be able to see which card is attracting the customers or which card is retaining their interest or attention. But this is only available for the pro versions. If you'd like this, you can just upgrade. So yeah, we have our links in the description if you'd like that. Next is we have the present. So you can present your presentation. And you could also go have some options in here in this tab, full screen presentation view, and so on. And we have edit cards with AI. So you want to edit all cards. So if you want to change something in here as a whole, then this is where you can do it. Because anyway, if you just want to edit one card right here with AI, you can have this option here. And next is that we have this button. So these are just the undo, the version history, so that you'd now be able to see the changes that has been made into your presentation or work if you're building something that is other than a presentation. And you have your view source prompt and logo, colors, fonts. This is where you can set it. You can add a new theme, you can import, and so on. And yeah, that's where you can do it. And we have the publish, duplicate, and so on. Right. Next, we have your account right here. So you can click on that. You can see your credits, account settings, language, and then a sign out button. And now next is that we have these tools right here. So first is we have a search. So this lets you quickly find any type of block like text, image, button without scrolling through the categories. So in here, it is super handy. If you already know what you want, just type chart, form, or video and drop it in. You will now be able to see all the blocks that you will now be able to incorporate to your project in here. As you can see right here, I can now edit the chart and it will now be able to add this, and it's now just like my theme right here. It is now blending well, and you can just add a chart if you'd want to. As you can see, Gamma is really fantastic in terms of building your presentation in here. And now I'm just gonna go and delete this because I don't want that. But yeah, this is how you could do it if you'd want a block to be added here. Next is we have card templates. So these are pre-built slide layouts with sample content, which is great for quickly adding new sections like about us or maybe pricing or comparison. So this is where you can get that. So there are a lot of templates that you can use right here. And all of this, again, are drag and drop. So you just simply need to drag it and it will now be created right here. So I'm just going to go and undo that because I don't really want it. right there. And now next is we have the smart layouts. And this is Gamma's way of auto adjusting your content to fit cleanly. For example, if you would want to paste in bullet points or text, smart layouts will reflow it into a nice slide ready format like a 2-column layout or feature list. No manual formatting needed. So this is where you can access the smart layouts functions. And next is we have the basic blocks. So in here, these are the building pieces of each slide, like tags, headings, bullet lists, or dividers, spacers, and more. You'll mostly use this when you want full control and are building something from scratch or tweaking small parts. So yeah, just from the word basic blocks, so these are the basic functions that you would need in a presentation. And next is we have images. So this is where you would be able to insert visuals from your device or search for stock images using Gamma's built-in image tools, often powered by Unsplash or similar. So as you can see right here, you can upload, you can go web image search, AI image, Unsplash, GIF, icons, and many more. Next is we have the videos and media. So this is where you can embed videos from YouTube, Loom, or maybe upload your own if you don't want to by using or clicking here. And all of this are drag and drops, by the way. And then you could also embed apps and web pages. So you can embed live interactive content like Google Maps, Calendly, Typeform, or full web pages. This is super useful if you want the viewer to take action inside the presentation, like booking a meeting or filling out a form. And next is that we have our charts and diagrams. So this is where you can have a simple drag and drop charts like bar, line, pie, and many more to help visualize data. You can also manually edit values, just like I have shown you earlier. For example, here in chart, you can edit values right here, which is really helpful because this is a really powerful tool compared to other platforms that also builds presentation for you, wherein they would need you to actually make an Excel sheet or maybe in a Google Sheets in order for you to edit the values. But in here, it is built in Gamma, which is really, really cool. And yeah, you can manually edit values and Gamma will auto style them to match your deck. Next is, or last one is, we have our forms and buttons for this list of tools. So this is where you can add forms like contact fields or surveys or call to action buttons like join waitlist or buy now. So as you can see, we have button, Typeform, Airtable, and so on. And this is useful if your presentation is meant to convert, like for landing pages, pitches, or signups. And now in here is where we can navigate throughout our presentation like its pages. So you can expand this, by the way, by dragging this like that. And then you can just drag your slides so that you can rearrange them just like so. And then you can add new slides or cards if you want to, and it will now be added. Or you can also right click on them and then you'd have the option to duplicate, copy, cut, copy the card to, add card below, export, and many more. So as for this one, I'm just gonna go and delete this card. And next is that we have the list view for cards. So if you'd want this view, then you can also do that. And yeah, that's it for this one. And the next one is that we have these buttons here in the presentation or in the slide. So we have this one, so you can drag to move or click to open the menu. And then you'd have the duplicate, copy, and then copy to, export, and many more. And then you could also go and change the card styling if you'd want to for this specific card. You could also go for page setup and many more. And you could also go for edit with AI. So if you'd want to edit this card using AI, like maybe you can try out a new layout. Let's say you didn't really like this layout. And now AI or Gamma AI will now provide you a layout that is identical to the one that is original but is something better. So yeah, right here you can choose the new layout that you'd want. But if you don't want to, then you can go and just not select anything. I'm just gonna click on undo, and that's it. So as for this graph, I'm just gonna remove this because this is not part of the presentation. And yeah, that's it. So those are the basic buttons there. And then you can go here into add notes, wherein you can add a notes for this presentation. I mean, this slide if you want to. And you also have these options for each elements right here. You can also add a comment or a reaction if you want. And then you also have this wherein you can format the text individually, so you can have your formatting text right here. Alright, so that's it for the quick overview. Now you have an idea for every tool or function that you can find here in Gamma. And now I'm going to customize my presentation. And now you'll have an idea on why I did that and what happened. So as for this one right here, actually I just want to remove this. I don't want to show my name right here and my last edited time. So I'm just going to click here on delete, and now it's deleted. And now I would want to change this description because I think it is not really good. So I'm just going to go click here and edit with AI, and I'm just going to chat with AI. So it's going to be like Chat GPT. So in here, you can just go for, I want to improve the writing on the description. Make it into a concise paragraph, and click on send. And now, as you can see, it says I'll work on rephrasing the description, and just like that, it has now rephrased it, but it deleted the title. So I don't really like that. So bring back the title. All right, there. And then, as you can see, it's now working on it, and there it is. But this is not the original one. So if in any case the changes here is not really what you like, you can just undo it anytime, just like so. And actually, I could just go for the this one right here. I'm gonna select this right there, and I can go here into edit with AI right here, so that only this will be edited by AI because I have highlighted it. So I can go for more condensed text or more engaging right there. And as you can see, this is a great way for you to specifically edit parts of your slide. And there it is. And now we have our brand new text. Next is that I can go into the image. So what I like to do on the first slide, since we have a brand in here, which is this one, I would like to actually show the branding in here. So I would want to edit this image. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go and click here on Ask AI to. And from here, I'm just going to go for chat with AI actually. And I would want to change something in this image. So as you can see, the image is selected. And now I'm going to type my prompt on the changes that I would want. So I want the food to be in the packaging with my brand, Green Fork. Right there. With a sleek green and black color theme, or actually color scheme right there, and send. So now let's see what it got for us. And here's the result, but it's not actually showing the Green Fork text right here. So I'm just gonna go for make or show the Green Fork brand on the packaging, and let's see what it got for us right there. And now I have tried in editing this just to make the text right in here, but it's really not working, and that is because of the AI model that we used for this one right here. So if you'd want this to be more accurate, then you'd have to go into the pro version, just so that in the view source prompt right here, you'd now be able to go back in here into the settings of your page, wherein you can change the AI image model. So as for this one, I recommend the Ideogram 3 Turbo because I have already used this and it has worked great, especially in branding, and it really gets the text right. So yeah, you'd have to go for the pro models right here if you'd want accurate text. So yeah, let's just work with this, and let's just don't mind the text right here for this tutorial. And next is that we can go into the other slide. So we have this one right here, and I'm just gonna go and change this. And from here, I don't really like the image in here, so I can go for make lighting warmer, less green, which is exactly what I want. And now it's now going to change the image, and let's wait for it to finish editing the image. And now here's the result, which is actually worse. It's looking even more scary. So I'm just going to go back and undo right there. I think this one is much better. And yeah, basically your AI model really plays a big part in here if you are generating images. So make sure that you get the pro ones if you don't want to get low quality images, just like this one right here. And next is we have this slide. So actually this image is really, really good. So I don't want to change this. And as for this one, you can also change the icons here, by the way. So if you want to, you can go and change it just like that accordingly. But I'm just going to stick with that. And I think I don't have to edit the text in here. The content is all good. And then next one here, I don't think there's necessary edits right here. None. Actually, I'm just going to go and present a team member right here because this is a proposal. So I need to present the team members that will be working on this project. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click here on add card with AI. And from here, I'm going to go for create a slide for the presentation of the team members that will be working on this proposal. And now from here, you can choose the template in here on how you would like it to be done. But in my case, I'll just go for let Gamma decide. And I'm going to click here on send. And we have this sign right here that this will cost 5 credits. And now here is the generated slide. But I don't really like it, especially in the text, right? Because it just doesn't look great. So I'm going to go for try more layouts. And let's see the other versions if it's going to be better. So let's wait for it, and here it is. We have this one, and actually this one works great. I think this one is cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for this one instead. Here it is. So yeah, this is the beauty of Gamma because you have other options in here if you'd want to. A lot of great options in here actually. Other than the first one, this is just horrible. I'm just gonna go and do this right there. And now I would want these to be on the last slide right here. So I'm just gonna go and drag this slide right here at the bottom, very bottom of this presentation. Actually, it would be easier if I do it here. So we have this one. I'm gonna drag it here in the last slide. And then on the last one, I would want to go for add a thank you slide for paying or for listening to the presentation right there, and click on send. And now here's the generated slide. And now I'm gonna go for try more layouts because I think this would be or this can be better. So let's see the other choices that we'd have. So we have this one and this one right here, and I think the best one would be this one right here. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this one. Just a simple thank you slide right here. And there it is. And now I am all done with my presentation. Now next thing that I can do is I can click here on present, and then let's see if it would really look good. So here I would want to start from the beginning. So I'm gonna go back and click here, and I'm gonna go for in the first slide right here, I'm gonna go for full screen right there. So this is how it would look like, and now I can navigate right here. So we also have that pre-built animation right there, which is really smooth, exactly what I like. It is looking professional and clean. So here it is, and that's it. It is really, really cool. And I think I'm satisfied with the presentation that I have made. So now I can just go back now, and now you can now export this presentation. And to export that, you can just click here, and from here you can just publish this to site if you'd want to export this as a site right here. And you could also go for share, and now from here you can now export this right here. Click on export. You can now export as a PDF, PowerPoint presentation, Google Slides, PNGs if you'd want it to be photos. So yeah, I can do it right here. So I'm just gonna go and make it a PDF. And click on that, and it's now exporting as a PDF, and it will now be downloaded as a PDF. So that's how you can export it here on Gamma. So that's it. We are now done with our presentation. And now, as you can see, here's the presentation that we have downloaded, and we have this watermark right here from Gamma because we're just in a free plan. So if you'd want to remove it, then you would have to go into their paid plans, specifically the Plus plan, because when you go here into Share, you have this option here to hide Made with Gamma, which is the watermark, which is available in the Plus plan right here. You can enable that if you have this plan. So yeah, this is it for this presentation. We are now done working on it, and then you should now be able to see it here on your dashboard when you go into your home page. And here in the dashboard, you can see your shared with you works, or you can see your sites, your AI images that you have generated right here. And then you have your templates that you can use, inspiration, themes, custom fonts, trash, and many more, like the settings right here. And now the last thing that we'll be talking about would be the plans. So we're going to go here into Get Unlimited AI, and these are the plans on Gamma. So as you may already know, we have the free plan, but it's not listed right here. So you can get the core features here in Gamma, but they are limited. And you'd also get the watermark that comes with free plan. And now let's go discuss the paid plans in here. So let's start with Plus. So in here, this is the most popular one, and it's costing you at $8. It is $96 in total annually if you go per year. So there is a huge discount compared to when you are going for monthly. So it's gonna be much more expensive because when you go here in monthly, it will now be $10 per seat right here. So if you're confused what per seat is, that basically means that it means the price you're seeing is per user account. So each person on your team who wants to use Gamma under that plan needs their own paid seat. So individually, they would have to pay this amount. And if you're solo, you just have to pay for one seat. But if you're a team or a part of team of 5, then you'll all need access to the paid features and you'll need to pay for 5 seats. So this model is common in tools designed for collaboration because each seat gets access to features, permissions, and usage limits tied to that account. So pricing can quickly add up for teams, so it's really important to know upfront. And now for the pro one is that you'd get $15 per seat yearly. And again, if you go for monthly, it would increase significantly. So I highly suggest that you go for yearly because you'd be able to save a lot of money from this one. So if you'd want to save in the long run, yearly plan or pricing is the one for you. Now let's talk about what you will be getting in each plan and which one should you choose. So first is the Plus plan. So in here, this is for heavy individual users, freelancers, or early stage startups wanting a more polished deck. So the key upgrades here on this plan would be the unlimited AI creation. You can generate as many presentations as you want. And then you also get advanced AI image generation, which you would get better visual suggestions and illustrations. And you can also remove the Gamma branding. And you can also generate up to 20 cards in one go when using AI. And then you'd get 50,000 AI token inputs, which means more fuel for AI to work with long documents or complex prompts. And you also get priority support and early access to new features. You can basically think of this plan like you're serious about using Gamma regularly, but don't need team level controls or analytics just yet. And as for the Pro plan, this is good for teams, agencies, or power users who need deep customization and real performance tracking. So you'd get everything in Plus, and in addition, you also get premium AI image generation, likely means faster, higher quality visuals. And you'd also get advanced AI editing tools for making granular changes to your deck via AI suggestions. And next is that you would have 60 cards limit in generating using AI. You'll also get detailed analytics to track who's viewing your deck and how long they stay. You also get custom domains and URLs, which is great for branding, like pitcherbrand.com. And then you'd also get password protection for lock-sensitive presentations and custom fonts, headers, and footers. Deeper visual control over brand consistency. And you also get some bigger token inputs and many more right there. So yeah, if you're just testing things out or making a deck here and there, the free version is fine. But for serious use, like client work, fundraising, or launching a product, then the Plus or Pro is where it starts to feel premium and less restrictive. So yeah, let me know if you'd want to try this out. You can use our affiliate link in the description when you sign up or get a plan in here in Gamma so that you'd be able to support our channel if you'd want to. It's completely optional. And that's it. So yeah, we have now discussed the things here in Gamma, everything you need to know as a beginner so that you'd be able to start using Gamma effectively right now. That is basically it for this video, and see you in the next one.